Hello and welcome to another New Running Cast. As always, my name is Johno and I'm joined once again by Joey. He's back in the seat. How you doing, Joey?
Yeah, not too bad. Long time.
We have footage now from the BABW final.
The BABW finals final.
Yeah. I'm getting a strange sense of deja vu because it's a rematch of the UK Nationals final.
Yeah, so this is how long after Nationals?
It's like 6 months later.
Wasn't sick, yeah. Anyway, it was a bit later.
It was sometime later, yeah. It was in
a rematch
September.
of the final, and yet again Alex from the winners bracket and Tim.
That's right, yeah. So on the left-hand side we have.
So if Alex wins, he's
on.
already going to national. He's already going to Worlds, which has already happened. You know?
Yeah,
and he'll get money to go to Worlds again next year.
That's right. Yes, you're right. It's a disgrace.
Yeah.
Let's sort ourselves out. On the left-hand side, very quickly, we've got Tim Fowler playing his Kate, and on the right-hand side, we've got Alex White from ETF. Now, these guys obviously know each other fairly well, obviously. They've played in high-stakes games
a few
before.
times, yeah. Some quite important games, like Nationals finals, already mentioned.
Now, is it an interesting setup from Alex? Here's Iced HQ. He did mulligan, Icing HQ, and install your remote.
We've seen NAPD.
We can see at least one gender in hand. So, I guess there's some suspicion it might be flooded from Tim. He didn't check HQ.
Yeah, Tim hasn't managed to get his burst money up, so he's only on 4 credits. Oh, there we go. That'll help. Yeah. But you can't really check HQ with a SMC, find your breaker, and so on and so forth with only 4 credits. But
yeah, it's worth mentioning this is in the now defunct pre-Most Wanted meta.
Pre-Dating
and
Destiny.
even pre-Dating Destiny as well. So it's going to have prepaids. It's going to be 3 prepaids in this deck for sure.
Prepaid Kate,
yeah, it will be.
And they're both on prepaid
and
Kate,
the fact that he also mulliganed as it happens and didn't get it. That's the card you want to see early because it really drives your economy.
But he's seen one lucky find. He's seen SMC. He's good. He's good. He can put pressure on.
And Proco.
That's
good economy and draw card. Of
course. Very controversial in prepaid Kate.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Got it early,
I wouldn't put it in prepaid Kate personally.
As a whole,
but Tim's better than me, so. Yeah. Meanwhile, Alex did find a Jackson, so we can expect the pressure to alleviate somewhat, as he's installed 2 cards in that first remote. So I'm guessing, because considering he's not advancing anything, that they're both upgrades. This could be
campaign, maybe.
Maybe it's or it could be Caprice Ash.
Yeah,
I guess that's the expectation, or anything. Who knows? Cyber decks.
Yeah, it's good. I think not having the prepaids is sort of okay when you've got Proco up now. I think Tim's good for economy. This is more of a Glacier style build, I'm assuming, not a fast advance one from Alex, and so the Proco.
Yeah, looks like it.
Proco is the bad decision in the NEH matchup, but it's better in
because
the longer game matchups. Yeah, so I think this is probably gonna really help alleviate the not having a Proco.
Yeah, I agree.
And not having a prepaid.
And Kate can take some time to set up, so you're drawing at least once or twice a turn. Yeah. So if you get an early Proco, you can, just get free money.
A few more turns, and then how do you keep Kate out? Because he'll have the SMC, he'll have the money, and so you're relying then on Ash and Caprice to score your agendas if you're trying to get them out of a remote. So Tim just needs to get to that position where he is happy that he can get in when he needs to, and then they can stare each other out and wait.
So what's the play here? As we see Alex install second piece of Fast on that remote, which now has 3 cards in it. So indeed, Tim is going to check it.
I'm guessing it's a 3 for 2 maybe. As we just said, once Kate gets going, it's very hard to keep her out of a remote. So maybe Alex is thinking, let's get on the scoreboard as early as possible.
Yeah. So Tim decides to bounce. He could have used self-modifying code to get a lady, something like that. Although I think, based on his reaction, he has 2 in his deck and they're both in his hand because he made a kind of annoyed sound.
But with only 6 credits on Alex's side, he can pressure. As he's doing now, he can pressure almost everywhere.
Yeah.
Alex is going to get 3 credits at the beginning of his turn, which is going to help.
Yes, that is. Turing, obviously, a great piece of ice, which is getting some increased popularity at the moment because we're very AI.
Very AI heavy in an Anarch meta.
But it's just good on a remote. It's taxing even against. I'm not sure what Tim would be running. It's probably Cyber Ciphers instead of Gordian Blade.
Yeah, probably this time 2 Sci.
Yeah. Which is not great for a one-off remote where when the Adonis runs out, you can just never use that remote.
It's
again.
good if it's the remote,
but
it's not good for an Adonis remote or anything like that. But.
So, That's an interesting agenda choice. Yeah. So Tim
And a DBS.
installs a lady in checks HQ and pulls Direct House Pet Project.
This is definitely more of a rush style, or maybe even a fast advance. I assumed it was Glacier, but then maybe that's because I'm in a food coats meta in my head. But actually, it looks like this is probably more of a rush, possibly even fast advance.
Well,
style.
if it was, could Alex not have put the Pet Project in that first remote? Could he not have scored it by now? I mean, it's maybe in the previous turn. I don't know how long he's had it. He might have just drawn it.
We don't know what's in the remote though. There might be an agenda in there.
That he's not scoring, I guess so.
It's quite possible while he's getting money, and I mean, it could also be a Sansan if that's what he's doing. You know.
Yeah, it could be a Sansan, that's true. I mean, I'm not really sure. I'm not sure what to take from this. I mean, Pet Project is a really interesting choice, but it's Sansan.
Yeah. I thought I might see Sansans.
Well, with DBS, there's a kind of
I did
element
play
of
Alex on this day, and I was like, I had no
you
recollection what Alex was playing.
Played him in the cut.
I played him in the cut. Yeah.
I played him on camera. I remember that.
Camera,
I remember that. Not on my camera, but on the
And as you can see,
camera.
Alex is in the winners bracket and in the final, so I clearly didn't win that.
Yes.
But no, I'm a big fan of HP Fast Advance. So yeah, you won one Pet Project, and then one either like Gila maybe, or Kronos is always a good shout, or I quite like the Future Is Now. Is that out at this point?
Future Is Now. That's a good question. I think that was pre-Dare Destiny.
So it might have been
pack 6.
Super fast. Yeah, I don't know.
Might have been pack 6. But now for a current meta, I agree. Future Is Now is quite annoying actually. So we're gonna get a 4th card installed in that remote. Is this one the agenda?
Yes.
I mean, it could be. So we're going to get Maker's Eye. It's going to hit an Enigma, so SMC will help out with that. Let's find out what he's packing then. I mean, Cyberstar from R&D is pretty reasonable. Looks like that's what we're going to get.
Yeah, he's definitely. I think we had one in hand. He's obviously got another one in the deck. Cyberstar and R&D is...
Because you're going to run there again. So he's going to see
NEPD. He saw 3 agendas.
Yes, he saw an NEPD contract that he could not afford to steal, and then he saw a Vitruvius and a Beast Test.
Wow. So he knows game is on. If he had 4 credits, game is on top of.
He's got 2 clicks remaining, so he cannot go back. So and he knows that Alex is going to draw it, but
if only that was a dirty laundry run, he could go back in.
Sure, yeah. Or indeed, if he had a dirty laundry, he could just archives and then go again or something. I don't know. It's only 1 credit to break Enigma on click 4. Okay, so
this is looking very good for Tim. Really good for Tim. Right
he'll
now.
also notice in hand. So if he can, he can get into HQ for no money spent. So I guess he might consider just running HQ.
NAPD.
Yeah, but obviously it's not. You're right. It's not going to stay in hand. He did pass on it. Took the mystery box.
Well, back in the day when you had to tell people what you took, because you don't have to anymore.
That's true. Yeah, that ruling changed. You don't actually have to declare. But I don't know. I feel like you don't take the agenda in that.
No, I think so. Kate not seeing a single. We assume there's only one other 3-for-1 in the deck. Then there's almost every agenda wins the game for Tim right now. I don't think he's going to access without 4 credits again. So you've got to think unless Alex can really rush out, unless this ABT he fires it and it gets. He might fire it. He's way behind.
You'd think he might. Yeah. And
he's got Jackson on the table. Yeah.
All right, let's go. What's he going to get?
This could be game changing.
This could be 3 agendas. Ooh,
looks like
that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Cheering on the Sansan and Wondervin. Okay. So that's, what's that? 9 credits worth of res for free? That's pretty good.
I think you do it with Jackson anyway, and even if he didn't have the Jackson, I think Alex would have considered it. When he's on the back foot like that, you're like, ABT's possibly the only way I don't lose this game.
He's just giving up a bunch of points.
Yeah.
And he may well have more agendas. He didn't ask the scoring remote. I guess he feels like that's pretty secure.
And he's got a Sansan.
And he's got a Sansan. That's true. He's got a Sansan. What is in that remote?
Yeah, I love these hybrid.
What is possibly in that remote?
I'm a big fan of these hybrid decks where it's like I can score out, I can not score out. It's you can fast advance or do. Yeah, I love HP's options.
It's quite interesting.
It does a lot of things well. HP.
So Tim only needs to get 1 more lucky access in theory. So he can. So we're going to see him install on the Sansan now. And an advance. Now I wonder if Tim is tempted to clot. I think he's definitely thinking about it.
He must have clot in the deck.
He will have at this point. I think it's an SMC for clot though. I think it's not in the bin. I think it's So
he's going to have MU issues now, right? As well.
He is going to have MU issues, which is what just got brought up. So. Do you still do it? Do you trash something?
Yeah, you just hit the side. You got another clone chip. or you do the
yeah. He decides to take it back
mimic,
instead.
whatever, really.
He decides to take it back instead and let him have it. He leaves the SMC on the table though, but that will get cleared up.
I think you do that.
So
I'm assuming there is a CVS on the table somewhere, but
yes, me too. I'm assuming it's in that massive remote.
Yeah. But if it costs him 3 credits, then I don't know. You can just crunch it whatever back. It's Kate. It costs you no money.
I think he's assuming there's a CVS on the table. I think, and he's not bothered about using an SMC to force it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think if you make Alex do that, then you've got the clone chip and the clot's in the bin now, and so
yeah, maybe
that might help.
Anyway, so it doesn't score it. We're going to get another Maker's Eye. So Johno needs 1 access. So clone chip for a sharpshooter will do the job, and
he's definitely got credits for NAPDs.
So Jackson is going to fire to try and muddy up R&D a bit, just deny, which is fair. I mean, you get the feeling that, although that does suggest that he did not have any agendas in the bin, because you wouldn't shuffle back an agenda now.
He's been DBSing as well, so they were all those ones that were on the bottom and no longer on the bottom.
Well, unless he's not bringing agendas, unless he's.
Well, we know he at least got an NAPD.
Sure, okay. So and that's game. So it doesn't matter anyway.
Wow.
I still think that was the right play from Alex, just to massage the odds, but yeah. So Tim didn't get the perfect start. He didn't get his economy. He struggled, but having said that, he's Katie Proco.
He got set up
Proco did work.
Proco did work.
Yeah.
It literally alleviated the not having a prepaid.
Yeah,
it didn't matter at all. There.
He didn't have much other economy at all. He drew. I think he drew a lucky find and a short gamble.
Played a couple lucky finds. Yeah. Yeah, but just Kate gets set up super fast, and then you can't keep her out, and she just makes eye.
And
he did see 3 agendas on one of his Maker's Eyes. So.
That's true. Yeah, even if you can only steal 2 of them. I mean, and does that show the value of NAPD and one of the reasons why it's become restricted?
Yeah,
is because
it does for sure.
It's an agenda they can't steal. Then
playing at Store Champ last weekend, I played against a guy who was playing just straight up Astrobotics, like old school Fastro, 3 NAPD, 3 Sansan.
No influence.
Everything. It was just the original deck, and he just had to drop some of the ice. And
9 influence.
And yeah, NAPD is still really good. Yeah. I was like, I've convinced myself Explodapalooza is as good, if not better. When actually, no, really, NAPD is really where it's at.
So what do you put in that? 2 Baltics, I guess, and then no other influence whatsoever.
Yeah, 2 Bardics, and then you just don't have the Architects and the Elis anymore. But So I think NAPD. I mean, although it didn't do that, it did give Alex enough turn to score 4 more agendas, 4 more points worth of agendas.
Yeah, it did.
Because of NAPD. Yeah. So it's good. It's great.
So what do you think of Alex's HB deck? I don't think I've seen him play TF before, but I'm sure he does. Oh no,
he does play.
I've seen him play it. But it was quite interesting, like you say. It was a weird mix because it had Sansans and what looks like a scoring remote. I'm going to assume it had Caprice and stuff in it.
No, I don't think I'd have had a Caprice.
Or at least an Ash.
Not with Sansan, you don't run Caprice, but it would have had Ashes and a CVS, I assume. But yeah, no, I really like. HB has good enough ice to score out quickly, just rushing, and then it can fast advance because it happily runs 2 3-for-1s and 6 3-for-2s, so it can do this fast advance thing. And then late game it transitions into Glacier. It really is good as that hybrid. It can balance the 3, the rush strategy, the fast advance strategy, and the Glacier strategy really well. You might not do any of them amazingly, but you can transition, and then depending on your matchup, you have options. You can go fast, or you can go.
But that's been helped now, right, by assets like team sponsorship and agendas like the Future is now. These really help you kind of, if you want to rush, they both help you rush quite effectively. For sure. Fast advance as well.
The only problem is, I mean, I run a similar deck quite often, and the only problem with the most wanted list now is Sansan's a lot of influence, and so really Architect and Eli was sort of instead. Really helping. Yeah, you can Bardic instead. Yeah. Or you just run less Sansans, but or you don't run the Elis and the Architects.
Yeah.
That's one option. GFI sort of makes NAPD not needed anymore, so that's sort of fine. They're still got influence.
Yeah, still one influence, yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. It's I think it's a good deck, especially when people assume you're going to do like they're in their head, they're like it's going to be Glacier HB because that's a thing. But you really can res the Sansan, and they're like, what?
Yeah. So an interesting game. An interesting game to watch in the current context, because obviously this was a while ago now. So with the different meta now, it's still quite interesting. So anyway, that was game 1.
That was game 1.
You might have noticed
Alex lost the game.
You might have noticed that Tim won that game.
Yeah.
So that means
when was the last time Alex lost the game at this point? I mean, he'd just come off nationals.
Yeah, I don't know.
He'd won the
was he undefeated in the Swiss? No, he wasn't.
No,
It can't be at BABW, yeah.
He has lost a game, but not many at this point.
Yeah.
All year, I think.
Yeah, they're rare. They're collector's items. So anyway, Tim won, which means that there'll be a second game, because obviously Tim came out of the losers bracket. So as is Alex's right, one defeat is not enough to eliminate him, even in the final. So they're going to swap sides. In the other game, we're going to see Tim play NEH. That may surprise you, Joey.
Really?
Yeah.
I always had Tim down as more of a sort of glacier style.
Regular viewers will know Tim always plays NEH. And on the right-hand side, we're going to see Alex playing. He's playing Kate as well, actually. And I imagine it's going to be a fairly similar Kate. That was very much the Kate deck at the time. Yeah.
I think I think they probably chat to each other. They've seen their lists, and we know the UK meta does loves their prepaid kit at this point, and the lists are pretty similar. They talk about the difference 1 or 2 cards to depth. They'll know the list.
So Tim will know exactly what Alex is running, and Alex will also know that Tim is all aboard the Astro train, and he's not interested in any kind of Wayland influence splashes. So there's no risk of them.
Tim will also know if Clot's in the deck, which it probably is.
Yes, that's a good point. And actually, that's been a recent thing, is to drop Clot and pretend you've got it. It's a good way of saving influence. Everyone assumes you have it.
Even Tim's dropped Clot recently.
I think they will both have Clot. Great. All right.
Awesome.
So yes. So I'd like to remind viewers that should you want to watch any more of our videos, you can do so at the website nearredandgrid.co.uk or on Twitter or on Facebook. You can find us there. If you are so generous, you can support us on Patreon as well. Thank you, Joey, for me commenting on this video.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.